Okay folks, just documenting my 9,500 mile oil change. Actually mileage is, come on, focus, there we go, 94.53. Alright, see if I can get that better. Come on. There we go, 94.53. Alright, and without cutting the film, you can see I'm draining the oil, got the filter out, everything's draining. One cool thing is the last time I did this oil change, I did find a little bit of metal filings on my magnet. And this was at the 4600. There was just a few, little bit. None this time, so that's a good sign. Alright, so we're going to clean that out and put in the other filter that I bought from Baja Ron and all the rubbers and the crush washers and all that. And we will do we're doing the 9,500 mile oil change. Piece of cake. So by the way, I gotta say something. I don't know what times they timed mechanics on this, and I'm not trying to brag. I mean, I've had my panels off probably 10 times since I've had this bike in a year, but I timed it. I got all the panels off and got the oil draining and the filter out all in 15 minutes. And you know, I wasn't hauling butt, but this is not rocket science really. It took more time to get the panels off than it did to pull the plugs in the filter. Especially this bottom stuff. I know some people leave off that one lower panel. I didn't leave mine off, and I'm not going to. It's no big deal. But anyway, just documenting my oil change. Today, I'm hoping to flush the clutch master cylinder and flush the clutch system, so I may do a video on that. Okay, oil change done, filters in. Thank God I got an SM5. I don't have to do the other filter, but you know what? Doing the other filter, just like doing that filter, took minutes. Again, total job all up, all in, 35 minutes. I put 4 quarts in. I'm not doing the procedure to start it up, get it up to temp, and then check it. I've done this before. It's 4 quarts and a little more, but I put 4 quarts in, and the reason I'm not doing that yet is I'm going to flush my clutch fluid. It is nasty black, very terrible looking. So I'm going to do that procedure, and I will be videoing it. So I got the sub panel back on underneath. I'm leaving the rest of the panels off because when we start messing around here, this stuff is nasty and will eat the paint. Also, I'm going to have to take it off the jacks. You know, I jacked it up, put a ramp under here, ramp under there, and a big block under the right. I don't have 3 ramps. So I got to let it down because I need to turn the wheels fully to the right. I don't know why they want you to do that. Possibly because the way the hose runs, maybe this gets it higher and allows the fluid to drain. Anyway, I'll show that procedure once I get there, but I'm leaving the panels off for now. I put the sub panel on because I'm going to take it off the jacks. No need to get underneath anymore. By the way, I checked my belt tension with the Cricket 2. It's spot on from the last adjustment. So apparently, once this, at least my experience, once the belt has kind of stretched from the first, 4,600 miles or whatever, I did have to adjust it at 4,600 miles. I don't have to do it this time. It checked out good, and as you can see, I'm good on the belt gap. By the way, since I jacked it up and backed it up, the belt gap is a little larger than it should be, but trust me, it's spot on. When you go backwards, usually that walks off like that, and I backed into the garage. So, but it's good. So I'm not having to do that. Now, to do the clutch stuff, we need to pull off the panels on the right side too. So I've shown a few videos. There's plenty of videos of pulling the panels off, so I'm not going to show that. But anyway, once I get all the panels off, we'll dig into the SM5 clutch, flush that fluid, and do the procedure. Anyway, showing my service. By the way, some other things you're supposed to do at 9,500. Coolant. Now, it says 2 years or replace at 14,000 miles. At 95, it says check. Now, mine is a 2011. I am in 2014. It has been 2 years. But I looked at the fluid and it looked good and the level's correct. Also, brake fluid here. I've checked. It says to check the brakes. I checked the brakes with a feeler gauge. I've got plenty of meat left. Fronts look very good. The rear's the only one tending to wear a little more. But I can tell I'm going to have to add fluid. It is right at the bottom of the mark here, so I'm going to have to. Since I'm using .4 for the clutch, I'm just going to top those off a little bit. There's been a lot of talk on Spyder levers. As you can see, my dealer Put this cap supposed to be toward the rear, this notch, and this notch is not toward the rear. Amazing I haven't had any leaking around here, but when I put this cap back on, it needs to be up here. Alright, so that little bump needs to be up there. So that's another thing you check is your brake fluid. My brake pads look good at this point. Alright, also lug nuts at every oil change, check those. Don't know why they want you to check them. Mine were tight, but I'm going to do it anyway. I haven't done it yet, but I will be checking them. Anyway, so that's the service, and now we'll go flush this clutch and be done.